Everyone who plays Whiteout Survival wants to rank high in the Moon Hunt and earn great rewards. This is because the Moon Hunt is truly valuable for all players. From this event, which occurs every 2 days, we can regularly obtain Essence Stones to upgrade hero gear, as well as hero gear, XP, and plenty of resources. That is the reason, everyone, that we must ensure we reach the top rankings in this event. We need to understand exactly which heroes we should use to launch a rally, and also which heroes we ought to use when we join a rally. In this comprehensive video, we are going to cover the absolute best heroes you should be using for your Lunar Hunt rallies, ranging all the way from Generation 1 through to Generation 12, as well as exactly which heroes you ought to be sending as participants. Furthermore, I am GEN1 Jiangguangqi Ishanbam Chinanda to provide a detailed breakdown of the underlying damage mechanics, the specific troop priorities you need to follow, and the most effective battle formation for success. I have two great tables that I'm going to use. It's essential that not only I, but everyone in the game has these tables. Because guys, there's this thing called gene in this game. As you progress, new heroes are added to our accounts. You don't have this many heroes in your account when you first start the game. As the game continues to progress, a large number of new heroes are constantly being added, and you definitely need to know which ones will be most effective in moon hunts or intense battles, so that you can build your hero lineup with much greater precision. So guys, I'm going to explain moon hunting to you in detail. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please don't forget to subscribe after watching this video if you enjoy it or find it useful. Apparently 50% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed to my channel yet. I need everyone's support. Now guys, when we start the game, the moon hunt is set up by the Alliance and a formation is formed immediately after. Arguments usually break out here. Everyone tries to get into the front rows because when you're at the front, you're closer to the moon hunt. That's why they usually place strong players in the first row around the moon hunt. Then they place weaker players in the row behind that and even weaker ones after that, continuing in that order. We also have a sequential wave tactic system for the moon hunt. I've already made a video about it. You can find it in the video description, guys. Before we get started, I want to make one thing perfectly clear to you all. Listen up, everyone. The very first thing you absolutely must prioritize when you first enter the moon hunt is to maximize your total damage output by upgrading the traps located right here, because whenever you contribute to these specific upgrades, your overall damage will increase by an additional 20 to 25%. To hold the moon hunt in a structured way at a time that works for everyone, you definitely need to hold a vote or a poll in your alliance. The more players who participate, the better. Once you have done all of that, you absolutely must do the following. Check the number of troops in your account. This is one of those low spend accounts where almost no money has been put in, but it has been played for 2 years. It has 3 million troops now. Archers definitely deal the highest damage in the moon hunt, followed by spearmen, then infantry. But the infantry's damage is practically non-existent. However, since you don't have that many troops at the start of the game, your formation has to be tailored to your own situation. I'm going to give you a specific formation now, but you absolutely must understand the logic behind it and create a formation that suits you. As your troop and archer counts increase, you will start using the strongest formation, which I will explain to you shortly. You might get a bit obsessed with moon hunting in the early stages of the game. You might wonder why your damage output is lower, but as you progress, it becomes a routine activity for us. By the way, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and comment on the video. Now, I have a guide and a hero chart for you for the early game. As I mentioned, this image and guide are available on both my Telegram and Discord channels. You can get them by joining my Telegram and Discord via the links in the video description. When we start the game, they've divided it into 3 sections. What they call Best Hero provides us with the lineups and formations for the scenario where typically will players can acquire all the heroes. The Alternative Best Hero section right here features recommended lineups for average investors or those players who choose to spend just a little bit less. And moving over here, they have provided the best lineups for low spenders or free-to-play players, utilizing all those free heroes that the game gives us from the Lucky Wheels. Now, we'll move forward by covering all 3. I'll definitely explain this. In the first scenario, when you start the game, new players already have Sergey, Molly, and Bahiti. It makes absolutely no sense to start a rally with anyone other than these 3 heroes. Because even if Gina's level is higher than Bahiti's, in the Moon Hunt, only the hero's 2 or 3 right side skills affect damage. In the scenario where we look at Gina's 2 right side skills, guys, even if her stats are high, since these skills give you energy or something. They don't help you at all in terms of attack. But Bahit is much better. It gets you a higher yield during the moon hunt. That's the whole logic behind it. This is definitely the first thing free-to-play players should do. Mid-tier players can get her by purchasing Natalia's VIP packages at the start of the game. They use Natalia instead of Sergey. There's no other difference. But for those who invest heavily, they can get Geronimo right from day one and use him. For those who invest a lot of money into formations, the 3-3-4 refers to infantry in the first row, spearmen in the second, and archers in the last. In other words, it's the 30-30-40 formation, guys. That's what they use. Later on, as the number of archers in our account increases, we reduce the infantry and add more archers. Later on, once our marksman count increases a bit more, in the late game, we start reducing the spearmen and adding more marksmen again. The specific formations we utilize for maxed out advanced genes are 1-1-8, which means 10-10-80, or it could involve sending one infantry, one spearman, and the rest as archers. Or, if you prefer, it can even scale up to 1%, 1%, and 98%. Since we have a lot of infantry and spearmen at the very beginning of the game, in the early stages, the first suitable formation you can send is 30-30-40. My advice to low spending players is this: if you aren't investing much money in your state and aren't a strong player, identify the 5 strongest players in your alliance within your state, provided you can fill 5 rallies. After that, identify the top 2 strongest players. Specifically, try to join the rallies of the strongest players, as they will deal 5 to 10 times more damage to the bear hunt compared to other players. By joining their rallies, you will be able to deal much higher damage thanks to them. That is why I believe that low spending players should not start their own rallies, at least until they reach the 3rd generation, because by that point their account will have had the chance to develop and they will have acquired the necessary heroes. After that, you can start your own rallies, but until then, you will certainly achieve a much higher score by joining the strongest players within your alliance. When you reach Gen 2, I'd say there isn't much that changes actually. Flint replaces Surge. You'll have Molly and Bahiti here because you can't really get anything else in Gen 2. But if you manage to get Alonso to 4 stars by watching our videos, then you should definitely go with Flint, Molly, and Alonso, guys. The formation is going to remain exactly the same. You can send it out as a 30-30-40 split, because by the time you reach Generation 2, you will be around the 60th, 70th, or 80th day of the game. I still do not think that you have an excess of archers, so you can go ahead and use this formation. Right here, our mid-spender friends, Natalia and Alonso, will continue their journey with Molly once again. Meanwhile, the strongest player will be continuing forward with Geronimo, Philly, and Alonso. They are all planning to play using their absolute strongest hero. Actually, I would like to show this right here. The strongest player is choosing to continue only with Geronimo. So there's no need to dwell on this too much. If you like, once we get past the big spenders, I can go into more detail for players with lower investments. The whales have been showing Natalia for Gen 3 here, but I definitely think Geronimo will deal more damage. So your infantry will always be Geronimo, no matter what. By the way, for those of you who have a 3-star or 4-star Geronimo with weapon levels at 4, 6, 8, or 10, you can definitely continue to use Geronimo quite comfortably up until Gen 5. However, once Hector arrives in Gen 5, I don't think Geronimo will see much use anymore. Now, they are finally able to utilize Hector with complete confidence. If you happen to be missing Geronimo, and for those of you who are low investment players, you have to play with Flint in this slot. Once you reach Generation 5, you will switch back to Hector, and folks, you will continue using Hector until Generation 12. I have low spend accounts, mid spend ones, and also what we call a whale account, which is fully maxed out. Right now, our state is in Gen 6. It shows Geronimo, Reina, and Wayne here. I've tried that too. I put Hector here and tried it with Reina and Wayne. I've also tested this setup. Currently, Hector, Mia, and Wayne provide the highest damage output. I get the most out of that trio. Let me share one more important detail. It lists Geronimo, Mia, and Wayne here. Sometimes I hit 300 million damage with Geronimo. With that same team, I hit 300 million. When I use Hector, I hit 350 million. Then with Geronimo again, I hit 340 to 360 million with him. It doesn't really make much difference. It depends on luck. If Hector's ability triggers well, he deals higher damage. If it triggers less often, his damage gets close to Geronimus. But since Hector is a hero we can get completely for free, he will definitely be our main choice. Continuing with low investment players and reaching Gen 3, our most important weapon is Mia. The scenario where we fully max out Mia's 4-star skills is sufficient for us. As for the special hero tool guys, getting it to level 4 is pretty easy for low spending players. We can do it easily after some time has passed. It's even better if we can get it to level 6. Definitely don't go above 6 to 8 or 10. Special weapons are effective in bear hunts and wars at even levels. The 5th, 7th, and ninth levels, the odd ones, apply to the arena and exploration modes. So if you're upgrading a hero's special weapon and you aren't using that hero for the arena, or if you're not specifically bringing them into the arena, it's best to leave them at an even level. Once we hit Gen 4, I'm skipping Bahiti here and going with Alonso, because I'm proceeding with the assumption that we have a 4-star Alonso. Flint, Mia, and Lin. Guys, Alonso's era is over once Lin arrives. You can now move forward with Flint, Mia, and Lin. As you can see, our formation in Shin. Our mission in Gen 4 is starting to gradually shift towards a 1-1-8. We started moving slowly from 334 to 244, and then guys towards 118. This is where our damage starts to peak, but the real power spike happens after Gen 5, specifically once Hector is added to the game. You're definitely going to get Hector in the game anyway. Whether it's for bear hunting or not, he's one of our most valuable weapons. A 4-star Mia is extremely useful for us, so we're sticking with that. If you have Lin, use Lin, but if you have your mythic unit Gwen, once you get Gwen, you'll want to switch to her. You'll be using Gwen instead of Lin. If you don't have Gwen and you're saving up for level 6, Lin will definitely do the job just fine, guys. The formation continues as 1-1-80. When we reach Generation 6, the Wheel of Fortune heroes are shown as Hector, Rene, and Lin. The reason Rene is featured here is that his first ability, along with one or two others, provides an incredible chance-based buff to Spearmen. So, they're sending about 20% Spearmen here, having those 20% Spearmen deal extra damage and trying to multiply the bear hunt damage. If I were you, I wouldn't choose this. I would stick with Mia. Naturally, once you reach set 6, regardless of whether you have Gwen, Wayne, or Lin, no matter which one you possess, or whichever is your highest gen marksman, you really must make sure to utilize them, everyone, because employing that unit is going to yield the absolute maximum amount of damage possible. So, in set 6, you really need to make sure you are using the highest tier marksman you have available. Once you reach set 7, the game starts to shift in a completely different way, because here is the main thing you should know. Bradley is just absolutely tailor-made for bear hunting. Until the next wheel hero Bianche, that is the Gen 10 hero, you will be actively opening rallies with Bradley in Gen 7, Gen 8, and Gen 9, guys. The order doesn't change at all here. You will definitely continue with Hector, Mia, and Bradley. Once Chen reaches him, he begins picking up Bianche instead of Bradley. With that move, guys, you'll progress until you reach the next carousel marksman. There are some notable differences on the left side here. They've set things up by adding Reina, using her Spearman buffing ability to hit positions 1, 3, and 6. Actually is like this. Some players might try Mia, try Reina, and end up getting a higher score with Reina. It's basically like this. All three of Reina's abilities are completely luck-based, guys. When Mia's ability works well, really well, if you're hitting for 200 million, it can suddenly boost your damage up to 400 or 450 million. But when it's working at an average level, it deals around 200 to 250 million damage. When you use Reina, her ability can boost your damage up to 300 million. However, it can never surpass Mia in terms of maximum damage. It's all a bit down to Mia. This part is a bit luck dependent. I mean, with this formation, you can send it like this and hit for 900 million damage. The next time you send it, you might hit for 780 million damage. The entire strategy really revolves around the specific ability triggers of the heroes you have chosen to send. So listen closely everyone, because this is exactly how you are going to need to proceed from here. You should make a concerted effort to plan your hero selections and your formations by referencing this table. If you follow these instructions, you certainly won't encounter any trouble during the bear hunt. So, how can you join the bear hunt? They've made a tier list for the heroes who can participate in the bear hunt, guys. I think they did a good job with it too. These are our top tier S rank heroes. It begins with our purple colored heroes and then progresses onward to the special yellow heroes. The list continues further downwards, categorized as being less useful, even less useful, average, and finally just plain bad. We've uncovered an important note left behind. They explicitly stated we should only use one of these heroes for a rally. The reason for this is for a rally, this applies not only to the bear hunt, but also to our other major battles, SVS battles, and castle battles. In a rally, if you send 4 Jesses in a row, for example, it increases your essence by 100. So if one Jesse affects your power by 100, but you send one hero of each type, like a Jesse, a Jessa, a Seon, a Reina, or a Geronimo, your power goes up to 120 instead of a Kade, a Hunter, a Le. That way, you can boost all your damage even further. Or instead of 4 Jesses, having 2 Jesses, 1 Jesser, and 1 Seon would definitely be much more effective. But in bear hunts where rallies are constantly being launched, I don't think players can really manage that. I don't think you should get too hung up on that. It's much more effective and important in SVS battles and the like. But I really don't think it's a good idea for you to upset anyone in the alliance just for that extra 10 million damage from the bear hunt. Please, just try your best not to get into any unnecessary arguments. There is a certain aspect that players do not fully grasp, which is why arguments break out so frequently. For example, this player hit 3.8 billion, while this other player hit 4.2 billion. When I look at the damage numbers here, they both end up receiving the exact same reward. I mean, nothing changed. It just moved up in the rankings there, but this isn't really a place where we can go in monthly to rank or break records anyway. This is an event where we can just log in every 2 days and get regular rewards. After a while, it starts taking up too much extra time, but it's definitely one of the most valuable events in the game. So I don't think you should push yourself too hard once you reach a certain point. Mishi, your alliance friends should also join up with strong players. You will find that your total rewards simply will not increase at all. There is a massive, significant gap between 4.8 and 10 billion. Trying to push your numbers up to 8 or 9 billion is completely pointless. If you are unable to hit 9.6, it really does not matter. Even if you manage to do that, only a single reward will change. As you can clearly see, no additional rewards will change for you. You can get 1 Essence Stone and 1 XP. You might not be able to break this record the next day, so don't stress over it or get too hung up on it. Especially in the aftermath of SVS wars, whenever you activate your 20% buffs and deploy your pets, please try to aim for the highest reward tier in the bear hunt achievements at least once. It truly provides us with some great rewards that are well worth the effort. The higher you manage to rank, the more you will gradually unlock those additional rewards as time goes on. As that is the general mechanic of the bear hunt. Our archers deal the highest damage. We will send our troops to the strongest players in the alliance with the right heroes, and we will launch our own rallies with the right heroes, guys. There are a few alliance tactics for the bear hunt. For quick participation, let's not call it an autobot, but we have set up an auto-click buttons. I have a video about that. We also have a sequential rally system in the alliance. Videos about these are available on my channel. You can find the bear hunt videos in the description box. I hope this video is useful to you. Take very good care of yourselves. See you in the next videos. Stay safe.